it's so funny because I had to call Kim when I got there to set it up. I was like, well, am I doing the settings right? How do I do this? And, with the machine and stuff. So, because that machine you don't have to have a certification for.
Oh, okay.
So I do it and I put it on. The girl loses inches and I kind of make up this stuff like, wrap with saran wrap and all this kind of stuff, like old school stuff, like just winging it. And it worked and she lost inches and, she loved it. So I said, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Can I post this on my social media? And she's like, absolutely. Posted on my personal page. I didn't have a DBA. I didn't have an LLC. I had one for the teeth whitening. Yeah. But not for this because I didn't expect what happened to happen. Mm-hmm. So I posted it and it blew up. Everybody's like, oh my God, what is this? So it started with a lot of friends, old co-workers, and this and that. So in the meantime, my sister-in-law worked from home and she was like, I'll pay you. Come put it on me. I've done it before at another place. And I was like, okay, so I'm there. I'm doing it. And so as she's sitting on the machine, she was like, well, have you ever heard of capitation? I'm like, no, what is that? And she was like,
your sister-in-law?
My sister-in-law. She's like, oh, it's so good. You should try it. And I'm like, well, she was like, you should try it. They have a training class and all this. You should add that on to it. And I'm like, well, first of all, why you holding this golden egg you ain't shared with me before, first of all. And second of all, I have never heard of it. Mm-hmm. So we called the girl that she had been going to get it done. Her and her mom had been going. And I was like, you should have told me about that or whatever, for personal reasons. Right. So anyway, so we called the girl. She tells me about her training class and things like that. So I went through a lot of things with the training portion of it, and I was really unimpressed with some of the ladies in Houston that trained, and I wasted money twice, okay? Mm-hmm. So I found this fabulous lady, I Make It Happen Academy in Atlanta. Her name is Reese. Oh, wow, okay. And so I trained with her.
Okay, so you went out there?
I did not. I did online, live training and video chat, and then we did the
Girl, that works. That's how I do all my
yes, oh my God, and she was the best. To this day, it's so funny how, like, when I used to see her, I was like, oh my God, I wish I could be like her. I wish I could do this. And now my business has literally surpassed her, and she calls me, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And I've hooked her up with that. Back to Kim, the girl that was at the doctor's office, I grew so fast that the mobile wasn't working. I was like, I can't get to everybody. This traffic is crazy. She was like, I have an office. I have a billing collections company. I have an office. I'm hardly ever there. You can use the back room. Yeah. Cool. She's like, and don't worry about paying rent. I know you're starting your business. You got to get it up. So literally within 3 months, I had to quit my job. Wow. Because I was so busy. I quit my job, and that was just like stress level. Because remember what my goal was with the kids and all that.
Seem fit.
Yeah, so I mean,
you're fit.
I am fit. So I progressed to basically in 6 months, I literally took over her whole entire office. I was constantly calling her saying, can I move this desk? Can I do this? She's like, let me send my brother. He'll come and pick it up. Mm-hmm. I literally moved her out of her whole 3-room office and took over and ended up paying the full rent and everything. So during that time, my friend Tatiana, who's here with me, I had been friends with her for about 10 years. She's a makeup artist, and she had been doing this for years, okay? And she just knew beauty, right? Yeah. And she was like, we need to get a spot together. We need to get a place together. We can offer all the services in one place, and, this and that. I want to get a spot. And I'm like, I can't, I'm thinking, first of all, I don't want to do things with friends. Yeah. But, she made a point. She's like, we're not sharing businesses. We're just sharing space and clients and giving everybody a one-stop shop. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But I was still apprehensive. I was apprehensive, because she seemed so much farther than me, and I was like barely making it. So I'm like, I can't pay rent, more. And I was just scared. And it was just, kind of like, I just got to do it. I just got to do it. So we ended up looking, and even we looked for 2 weeks. Even when we're out driving around looking, calling real estate agents, doing all this, something was like, oh, I'm so scared. I don't know if this is the right thing to do. So where I was, it was me and one assistant, and we were literally seeing about 30, 40 client appointments a week, right? And it was kind of slow. 30 was actually the average. So finally we found here at the Mangum location, which was a little more central. I did a whole bunch of other business things that people have been telling me to do, and I was still so overwhelmed, but I just did it, Moved in with her, and I literally tripled in business within a month. I'm not even kidding. Just the location, everything. It was the best decision I could have made.
How long was that?
This was, we've been here almost a year. It'll be a year next month. Yeah, it'll be a year next month. So we moved here, and I also thought when I moved there, I'll get all her clients, because she does a lot of weddings and, brides. And I did get a lot of clients from her in the beginning. Not a whole lot, but I did get some. And so I was like thinking, okay, that'll increase, my income and kind of get it where I can invest back in the business. And so I started learning a lot of things, working on business credit and this and that. So Kim was always my go-to girl. I was like, Kim, what do I do this? Because Kim had a business, but she didn't have what she has now. And it's so crazy because she helped me so much, and she helped me, you know, even still to this day, bring on my doctor, bring on, you know, new services, and push me, and she pushes me a lot to go past my comfort zone, which is a blessing because that's how I grow. But now Kim has a business as a medspa consultant, so she does start up medspa. So she
knew her power
because
helping you.
I convinced her. I said, you should charge people for this, because the knowledge that you give me is I can't get that anywhere else. You need to pay people for your knowledge. And she was like, yeah, I'll try. So I started helping her kind of promote it. Now she has a business partner, and they are just doing it. And it's so amazing how God works, because that's not how she started out. So anyway, so we progressed to being here at Mangum, and it's like I got the body contouring part done, but it's not enough. I'm like, I don't want to just be a mom and pop body contouring company. There's one on every corner, just like one every Starbucks. I perfected I made sure I took so many classes, and I perfected the technique to make sure the results were good. And I'm very strict. My staff will tell you, it's so funny that I am very strict with them. I am strict with them. If you're not getting, you know, results, if you're not doing this and this and this, I have a lot of processes in place. I'm strict with them, but I take really good care of them.
Yeah.
They know I take really good care of them. If they're in need, I mean, I don't babysit, but if they're in need, I will look out for them. So moving on to that happened. So I called Kim, and I'm like, well, actually, she was pushing me, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. What's next, right? She's like, you got to get a medical director. I'm like, I can't afford it, and this and that, and she said, let me help you. I will find somebody that's willing to work for you. Everybody knows that, you know, new businesses and startups don't just have, you know, money coming out the wazoo. So we go and meet with this doctor, Dr. Angela Traylor, in Humble. And my sole purpose for going to that meeting, and this is how I tell you when God is just like, he has his hands on me and my business. I'm telling you, it's like, it's so funny because my fiance is like, everything just gets thrown in your lap. And it's like, yeah, that's true, but it's really not thrown in my lap. It's God. It's God showing me, like, this is where I wanted you to be this whole time. Yeah. This is why you went through everything. This is why I took everything away from you, to get your attention so you can sit down and focus on what I had for you, right? I went with her to meet with this doctor, Dr. Angela Traylor in Humble, and we're sitting there and we're talking about her being my medical director and working out a payment, and you know how much per month that she required and this and that, because in order for me to be able to do more services to become a medspa, I had to have her, because she has to oversee, you know, a lot of the medical stuff. I have to have her license to order stuff. And so, you know,
I'm a buyer, so I definitely get it.
Yeah, you get it. So I had to build that trust. Okay, so you know, it was like Kim was the glue that put us together. So we were there, and she was like, "Hey, you know, I have these extra rooms. Why? You know, have you ever thought about
down there? That's where you Yeah,
and this is how I tell you, when it just had no intentions of going there to get a second location. I went there to get her to grow, to be able to get money to put back in here, and then grow. You know, and so. It's so funny because when I left, I just called Kim on the phone. We were in separate cars. I said, did I just leave with a medical director and a second location? She said, you absolutely did. And it worked perfectly, right? And so from that point on, it's just been blessing after blessing after blessing. I have been bringing on new services. I mean, like probably every month or two. I went through a lot of learning curves with the staff. I lost a lot of money. Wasted. I'm not going to say lost. I wasted a lot of money, not understanding, you know, trying to keep people happy and not understanding that I can pay the right person to do the job that I need instead of paying two people. I mean, it was a lot of learning curves. It was, I hired family. I learned that's a no-no, you know, don't ever, never ever. Well, I'm sorry you don't have a job. I'm so sorry. I love you, but you're going to have to go somewhere else. I cannot, I get burnt.
The craziest thing about us when we do that, these people don't have the experience and don't want to go get it.
Or they'll learn and they'll get it, but then they feel like you owe them, or they feel like they want favoritism.
Yeah.
And when you show them favoritism, they forget and they don't appreciate it. So I went through that, and it was really tough. So I don't hire family anymore. But I dug deep. Like I said, I hired somebody in recovery, and it just so happened she approached me. And to be honest, I feel like she's one of my best employees. And I was there. She was there when I admitted myself to New Hope, and she was there. So me and her have been sober the same amount of time. Oh, I've been sober ever since then, almost 5 years. I meant to say that. Yeah, almost 5 years, and haven't had a drink. Yes. So and she was one of my best employees. Yeah. But the thing I love about her is she sees everything that I get emotional about this too. So she sees what I went through. She was there, and she watched me grow this business from a mobile teeth whitening company to this med spa, and she is 100% invested. And then I have, I have other staff. I have the MA that used to work for the doctor. She's my assistant now, and these people work. She, yesterday I told her work till 7. She's calling me at 10 o'clock at night, and she's like, I just finished. I said, why are you still at work? She was like, there's so much to do. I just didn't want to leave it. Yeah. And she clocked out. I said, no, I'm going to pay you for that. But that's the kind of team that I have, and it's just been such a blessing because I went through a lot. I lost a lot of money. There was times that I wanted to give up because it's hard. It's hard. It's stressful. Yeah. Then when you have a lot of pressure on you, and and like I said, I was single, and so my bills at home wasn't getting paid by anybody, and so it's just like, and then, the whole situation with my ex-husband, I pay him child support. I don't even get child support, know, and it was tough. It was really tough, and
so I went through him more.
Well, now it's 50-50, because I've been able to get my stuff. No, I've been able to get my life back together. And, we went back to court. I did exactly what my attorney said. We went back to court. And the fair thing was half and half because he had him all this time. He's not a bad father. He's a great father. We literally live like 10 minutes away from each other. So that's what it is on paper. But we work it out. We just do what's best for us. Like they sent an email this morning about the whooping cough breakout in school. And he took a screenshot. Did you see this? Did they have shots? It's a good relationship. Yeah. So in the meantime, I met a wonderful man. I actually met him right before I started this business. And he has been so supportive and just there for me and things like that. So we got engaged on Christmas Eve. Yeah. Didn't expect it. Kind of expected it, but didn't expect it. Not this time. Not at this moment, but it's been a blessing. And it's just like my life went like completely just turned around, and when I sit down and I think about the success, and it used to be hard for me to talk about success. I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt like I had messed up so much. And then I also feel like this is what I'm supposed to do.
Well, I think just like you said, everything sometimes has to fall down so that it can be built the way it should be built, which is with the errors and everything that you learn along the way, the lost money, the people that you brought in that failed, and everything else. Yeah. Because you wouldn't be exactly where you are right now without those things.
Without those things happening, exactly. So I thank God for it now. And and then I always tell people, like my fiance is always like, God, it shows you so much favor. Really, he does. Once I put my eye on him and let him lead my life, and this is where I am, and I'm serious when I tell you, for example, I wanted to bring on Botox and fillers, and you have to have a doctor or a nurse practitioner do it. My doctor that's over there, she's a surgeon, and she was supposed to do it, but she's so busy with other stuff and all of that, and so she really didn't have time. So she brought in this nurse practitioner to run her urgent care part of that thing. And so me and her has been talking, and one day I called her and I said, hey, somebody's here for a weight loss prescription and things, and she's like, well, I'm at a training class. I'm taking a training class for Botox and filler. And I go, what? Are you kidding me? I was literally interviewing nurse practitioners and going, oh my God, how am I going to pay these women and this and that? And she was like, well, let's work it out. You give me clients, we'll work it out. And it was like, it literally fell in my lap. I didn't even try. And that's how I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. My passion for it is ridiculous. So you see me in a more settled form because the clients are not here. But if you look at our reviews, the reviews that my clients leave, it warms my heart because I have a passion. Yeah. And a lot of the time, I don't do clients as much now because I'm trying to, my goal for 2020 is to be a owner, not a worker bee. Right? And so I've put people in place to kind of run things, and everybody has their own duty and stuff. So my goal is to continue to grow the business and bring on new services and be the owner, and so that's what I'm trying to focus on. But my passion for giving women self-confidence and the beauty and the things like that is because I've been through that and I know how it feels. And so it's just crazy amazing how that I got into this and everything is just like falling into place, and I understand why I went through everything that I went through. Never in my wildest dreams at the age of 38 when this started what I thought that I would be, what I think that I would be a business owner.
Yeah.
I was always thinking that I was gonna be making everybody else money, marketing director and sales. You're making everybody else money. I never thought that I would do it for myself. So it took a point where I got to, because I would be just like working and just like in the doing the clients and working the schedule and this and that, and it dawned on me and said, I need to do marketing, I need to do sales and marketing and grow my business. I put so much energy in 20 years of other companies growing theirs. I need to do exactly what I did for them for myself. Yeah. And so that was my goal for 2020, is to focus on that. And so I have been doing it, and it's just been wonderful. It's been wonderful.
Amazing. Your story resonates with me, one, because I also had to take some time to go to AA.
Yes.
But also because it just speaks to when you do something different, you get different results. Like when you said, okay, I'm going to try. Because you had been to...
I've been to treatment three times. Yeah. 3 times prior to that.
And you were like, this. But when you said, I'm going to try something different, and then you trusted the universe, God, to do what they...
Exactly.
However you refer.
However, yeah.
To do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
And things are falling in place. So I really, I like that. I love your story. I appreciate you for sitting with me.
Thank you. And thanks for sharing that you're in AA too, because you know, a lot of times you don't know it. It's so funny because I had a contract job before, and it's, I didn't tell a lot of people. I didn't share my story. I didn't know how powerful my story was, honestly. And I didn't share my story, so I was sitting there one day and I saw like the owner of that company was Facebook friends with somebody that I knew from New Hope, from AA and stuff, and I was like, how do you know? What? Oh, actually, she messaged me. The other girl, she was like, how do you know? I saw you on Facebook friends. I said, I work contract for them and I do sales and stuff. And she was like, oh, I've been knowing her for years. Her dad's in AA, she's in AA, her sisters and everything. I'm like, oh my God, it's such a small world, and it's everybody. And everybody's at different levels, but nobody's perfect.
No, and like when I started, it was a lot. It took me a lot to even go in the room. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be the person that didn't need AA. But I was
that was me.
I was so lost at that time, and I still drink, but I know my triggers too. And I'm like, I can't have this, I can't have this, I can't have this, and I can't have this at my house, and I can't have this, and I can't. And I mean, that's just the way I have to live.
And some people are like that. Some people can still drink and monitor and manage it. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's different. But
if I put it in my body, I will go back to losing everything. So I don't even think about it, honestly. I don't think about it, and things used to be different for me. I used to not want it in my house, and if I was dating somebody, you can't drink around me, and I can't do. Well, now my fiance, he drinks. But he knows he doesn't have it out. It's in his little spot. It's crazy because it's hidden in his spot where I know his spot is.
Yeah, but I
have no desire for it. It is not my go-to.
And if he cares about you like he does, he won't throw it all in.
He doesn't, not at all. Half the time I don't even know. Unless I, maybe kiss him and I smell it or something like that. And I'm fine with him drinking. And I went through this thing where my family, they would hide stuff at family functions. Okay, she's going to hide her alcohol and stuff. Well, I said, stop doing that.
Yeah, because that's not making me feel good.
It's not making me feel good. And if I wanted to drink, I am grown. I can drive up to any Specs in any liquor store and buy whatever I want. So you hiding it does nothing for me.
I have to be the governor of whether or not I have to drink.
It does nothing
hiding it. I can take it from you.
Exactly. And what you gonna do? Fix you another one. It's nothing you can do. So hiding it, and so my friends and everybody would feel uncomfortable hanging out with me, and should we drink around? Ask me. Don't ask each other. Ask me how I feel, and if I tell you I'm fine, when I told them I was fine, they didn't believe me. They're like, no, I don't feel right. I said, if I tell you I'm fine, I'm fine. If I'm uncomfortable, I'm to the point in my life where I don't want anything to take that away from me. So if I have a problem with it, I will tell you. Okay, exactly. I've worked too hard to get to where I am. But now it's to the point where it's not even a thought, unless I'm telling my story or something like that. Now, I did go to meetings for the first 3 years. Now I don't go to meetings. I'm still involved in the recovery world. But I don't go to meetings, like more of like telling my story, using my business as a vessel. So the program I was in, Bridge Hope, my thing is I want to come in and for all the women that are in the program right now, is kind of give them free facials and do like a spa day.
That's beautiful.
So I want to use my business as a vessel to be able to share with them, like, look, I'm gonna give you a free facial, but you gotta hear this story. This works. Stay the course. Do this. If I can do it, you can. Yeah. So that's kind of where I am now, and I did a big. The breakthrough came when I did this event at the Beacon, and it was for the homeless, and they had all these world-renowned chefs come, and I was a guest speaker, so I had to tell my story, which you got the short version of it, and more personal. This was like to the point. When I got up, there was not a dry eye on the house, and I'm talking men and women.
I mean, it's emotional. I was getting a little bit emotional.
Yes, and they stood up and clapped, and I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't believe it. And so I had this vision board that I did when I was in the program, and that was what I brought. And the vision board, I talked about how I had accomplished everything on the vision board. And the crazy thing is I have that vision board. Let me see if I can find this picture for you. The vision board I did, and in the middle of the vision board, I was just doing something. It was in the program. It was a project. We went on a retreat. We had to do it.
Yeah.
So you cut all these pictures out this magazine, and you do this and you do this. And I was into it by then, into the program, into being recovery. But I wasn't into doing that. I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel like cutting out pictures and coloring and pasting, whatever. So I did it. Well, I found in this magazine this picture of this strong black woman who was like, just, you could see entrepreneur all over her. You could see the strong, just, and I was like, I'm going to be her, but whatever, I was going to be her. Put it in the middle of my vision board, okay? She was sitting on the couch, and she was like sitting like this, and she was like, just exuded everything you wanted. Now, mind you, I did this vision board, and this was in 2015. We're in 20, right? 14 or 15, right? So they called me back to do to be the guest speaker. So I did the guest speaker. Well, in the meantime, I had a client that does photo shoots. She's a photographer. So she did a bourgeois photo shoot for me. The thing was a couch.
And you did this photo.
I didn't know I was doing it.
She did it by accident.
She told me where to stay. She told me which outfit to put on. She told me how to sit, do this, do that. So it was a bourgeois. Yes.
I just love to hear people's manifestations.
I took the picture. Listen, I took the picture. I didn't even know. It still didn't resonate on me when I got the proofs back. It was actually for my fiance. So I had made a lookbook for him, a little photo book, and so the pictures were in there. And I was flipping through, and I was like, "That's a picture. Wait a minute. That's the woman on the. This is her. That was me. So that's the woman on my. Let me find my vision board for you. I have a picture. Somebody sent it to me because I had to have it for the event. So
that is so incredible. Yeah. But you know what? I've been trying to get my son to do a vision board because I just did mine in November. I wrote the date. I had the moon phase. I put me some cards for it just so that I could see where I was at that moment. Because I think it's very important, and I want my son to do it because I want him to understand the power of visualization.
Oh my God!
And putting yourself where you.
When I tell people about that, they didn't know that I had kept that. Like when I was talking about it in front of all these millionaires that are throwing their money in these programs and for the homeless and stuff. They were surprised that I still had it. So when I did this event, Deborah Duncan was the host. I mean, when I got done, Deborah Duncan was crying. Everybody was crying, and I'm like, oh my God, my story is like really serious.
Because not many people can say, I went from lost everything, had to go to jail, and now I am a business owner with 2 locations, adding services nonstop, medical director, all the things. You know what I mean?
I know. So that's me back then. But look at the picture.
Wow! And that looks exactly like the chick. And the couch is even tufted.
I didn't do that picture. I didn't prop myself. She propped me. My photographer.
The universe be propping you.
It propped me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm her. And I just cried probably for an hour. When it dawned on me that I was her.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm her.
It was supposed to do that. You did all the things that you said you wanted to do.
On the vision board. The last thing was the ring and the engagement didn't solidify our relationship because we already had a strong relationship. But the last thing on my vision board was to have a loving relationship that was different. That he loved me for me, and that
knew all the bad.
Yeah, he knows all the bad. Everything. He felt like it took me a while to tell him everything, but everything. He was there when I was going back and forth with my ex-husband to court, you know, with the kids, and so he knows everything. So it was like, that was the last piece of my vision board. So now my vision board is complete. See, these were more of what the pictures were. You know, it was more of those kind of pictures. But that one,
it's just like that.
I wasn't there for that. So it's so crazy because I was like, I wasn't even here for that.
But that's how it works. It's like once you set it out there, like almost like set it and forget it. Mm-hmm. You know, like anytime you say an intention for something, you leave it alone.
You leave it alone, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important that you know that, and that's why we're here, and that's why you're in this space, because you set it and forget it, but also just keep walking.
I keep walking,
you know.
Exactly. And I have to, and so like when I do it, and you know, everybody's like, you know, telling me how wonderful I am, how successful I am, and things like that. Like I said before, I feel like it's just who I am, and it's what I'm supposed to do. So it doesn't feel like, and I'm driven too. I'm really driven because I'm like, I built this from the ground up. I'm not going to fail. I'm going to accomplish everything I want to because I have, you know. And so I wanted to tell you, like, if you get a chance, because I posted this picture at my 1 year of Slimfit.
Okay.
Because it was, like, so powerful to me, but it was like that was the beginning of me starting to share my story and being okay with sharing my story.
Yeah.
Like I would have never done this before.
Yeah.
You know,
to be vulnerable and share everything. I mean, but there's no shame in it.
There's no shame.
Because you cannot be a growth warrior without having to grow through something.
Not at all. I'm telling you. The first time I shared my story was at even like the one from that one Sunday. It was just it was a small group. It was a bunch of black women, business owners, and I felt comfortable. Mm-hmm. And when I went up there to talk, I didn't go up there to share my story. Yeah. It came out. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Kim and everybody else was like crying, and they were like, "Oh my God!" And you know, and then that was almost 6 months ago, and I saw some of these people again, and they still tell me how powerful my story was and how much it helped them. And these are people with no addiction problems and issues, just life, period. Yeah. You know, you pull something. But I wanted to read this to you, and then we're done. It was my picture on the couch, and it just says, "Happy 1 year anniversary, Slimfit Beauty. 3 years ago, I made a vision board." That was before, but whatever. In the middle was a cutout picture of a woman I aspired to be. She was strong, independent, and resilient entrepreneur. She sat on the couch and exuded what I hoped to be. Little did I know that it was me and her, little did I know it was me to be her and create a company that would grow beyond any of my expectations and dreams. The past year has had its successes, triumphs, learning curves, losses, and lots of growing pains. But we made it. I get to fulfill the vision on my board due to my Slimfit Beauty clients, staff, family, and friends. Thank you for trusting us to help make you a better you. 2019 is proven to be even bigger and better than 2018. Keep watching and following us as we expand and grow. We have so much more to offer our Slimfit Beauty, yada. But my point is that just like people don't know the behind story, but they get a little bit of it. Because it really meant a lot to me to see my business be there for a year, you know?
Yeah, because people quit after 5 minutes, so it doesn't work. I'm quitting.
I quit. I remember it was a few months, probably 3 months, that I quit every single Monday.
Yeah.
I quit.
And then kept going. But, I mean, it's okay to quit and keep going.
Yeah, I quit. The long clock go off, I quit. Yeah, the long clock go off on Monday when I quit. I'm not doing it.
I mean, Creative AF, I started it. My goal was to help Black entrepreneurs share their message and reach their target audience through strategy, marketing ideas, and just branding. And it's evolved already because people are difficult, you know. And it's like, I'm trying to help you. I don't want to take your business on my own. I'm trying to help you grow
yours.
And what it means is you'll have to do something other than what you already did. Yeah. That's what they don't always like to do. So I commend you for trying to do something different. Yeah. If you have one tip to give to an entrepreneur or a business owner, what would that be?
Basically is don't give up. And that's one thing that I always tell my kids is don't give up, stay the course. It's a lot of work, it's really hard. And a lot of people fall short because they give up. When it gets hard and when, you know, you don't know where the money's going to come from, or you're overwhelmed with, you got your to-do list, you know, it's just take one thing at a time and don't quit. Just don't quit. And then don't quit 10 minutes before the miracle happens, right?
Usually that's whenever you quit. Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on Dream Chasers. I named it, y'all. Dream Chasers for On Between Us Girls. Yes. And I can't wait to share your story with everybody.
Thank you.